from the lighter side of pest control. This is the Tales from the Crawl Space podcast with your hosts, Jack and Brad.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another titillating episode of Tales from the Crawl Space. I am, of course, Brad Harvey, the Supreme Overlord of Pest Control Humor Depot on Facebook, and with me, as always, is the lovely and personable Jack Starry. Jack, how you doing tonight?
Hi there. How are you?
Yeah, he brought the sexy voice out of mothballs tonight. Good deal.
I'm feeling saucy.
Nice. So, oh gosh, how's everybody? I hope everybody had a really good, safe week, and you're able to kick it all back for the evening, sit on your ass, and listen to an hour of fine pest control related fuckage over here at Tales from the Crawl Space.
Enjoy the dulcet tones of Brad Harvey.
Okay, let's get right to it, Jack. You and I got a good sit down with someone really special to both of us. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I was able to wedge ourselves into my son's busy schedule. He's the one that makes all of our intros for the show, and we got a chance to have an interview with him, and it was awesome. I mean, he was so excited to be on the show, and he really enjoyed being able to chat with you as well, Brad. So yeah, we definitely got an interview here. We recorded yesterday. We're going to pop it in, and as promised, JT Story. Brad and I are here with JT, my son, the man, the mastermind behind all the awesome intros, because I first started out this show with a crappy AI intro, and I was like, I got a really talented boy. I ought to get him to do it. So we're here with JT. How are you, JT?
I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Never better.
Never better.
I know Brad's been wanting to meet you, and I've been itching to get you on the show.
Absolutely. This is going to be probably the closest I meet you for at least a while. So first off,
told by the prophecies.
First off, I wanted to say thank you very much for your contribution to Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. The intros are spot on, and everybody loves them. So you're doing a great job, and we really appreciate your help.
Thanks a ton. I try my best.
You do, and you're succeeding quite well. First question I want to ask you, I kind of know the old man, and I know you through your work, and you seem to have a wellspring of talent to draw from. Who do you say you favor more in the talent department, your mom or dad?
I'd say they're both equal, because as much as I love my dad, I got to give props to my mom, too.
Oh, yeah.
I look like my mom and I act like my dad.
Well, that means he got the better end of the deal on that one. That's for sure.
Very, very good. I understand you're also an accomplished musical artist in addition to your media work with the podcast. And I also hear you have a moonlighting gig as well. So it sounds like you're quite a busy guy.
I mean, well, yeah. I just constantly work on music. Well, not constantly. Sometimes I do a little bit of doodling on Fire Alpaca, and I even like to write stories in my spare time.
Mm-hmm. Great, outstanding.
I could do almost everything under the sun, like music, visual arts. I edit videos and such like that. But the only thing I can't do, the only thing that hasn't been added to my infinity gauntlet of art is dance. I suck at that.
Dance? Oh.
Jack, he gets that from his dad. He gets that from me.
Jack, I put a GIF on the Pest Control Humor Depot on my my floor drain post. Yeah, you'll have to show that to JT. This is me dancing. So
I will definitely get it to show to JT for sure.
Absolutely. Great. Yeah, JT, you sound like a man for all seasons. That's for sure. And as far as, let's talk a little bit about the intros that you've done a couple of intros for us. One of my personal favorites is the one that you did for the pizza party. I thought that was very well executed. But of course the omnipresent Twilight Zone theme. I'm a big Twilight Zone fan. That hit me right in the feels when I first heard it. So, I think that's very good. If you got any more ideas, maybe coming down the pipe.
Currently I gotta know what's on the itinerary next for the podcast, but I do actually want to make a fully produced theme song for the Tales from the Crawlspace podcast, because most of the audio in the background is royalty free. But if I want to make a fully produced theme, that's going to take like months. I don't want you guys to wait months for one
right
theme. And if I make a mistake, I'll have to go back and edit it. Plus there's the problems with like mixing and mastering stuff, which I barely know jack shit about. So
well beyond my pay grade for sure.
Well, I will say I will give JT a whole lot of credit, because I usually pop these on him last minute, like, hey, we got a pizza party show coming up. Can you do something with that? Or we're going to do the Ask Us Anything Christmas show. And he gives us these special intros, and just like a couple days, he puts them together for us.
Yeah, that's it. I'm really impressed with the professional quality, the sound, and what mixing he has done. It's really spot on. I think I could speak for all 11 of our listeners when I say that it's one of the high points of the show.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I hope
I'm going to try to get you to do one like a wrestling announcer or something sometime. Hey, brother, it's the Tales from the Crawlspace podcast or something like that.
And if I have enough money, I might actually find Hulk Hogan on Cameo so he can do it too.
Oh, shit. Great.
Imagine
he's kind of he'll be pretty
narrated
cheap
by Hulk Hogan.
Outstanding.
Awesome.
Well, if it's going to be on a podcast, he'd probably want royalties, which we have none. So
that's true. Yeah, everything's done on our dime here, and any money that we do get goes to our buddy. So,
well, but JT, let us know where we can find your music, because I have to announce that JT has a few songs already that are on iTunes. Now, how do we find them?
Oh, I go by the name 6 Foot Stump on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Bandcamp. God, I can't speak today. Amazon Music, and I think that's it, but there might be more. But yeah, my artist name is 6 Foot Stump.
Okay, very good. So JT, one more question, and I'll throw you to the wolves. Is there anything that you work in this media, you write songs, you do everything but dance? Is there anything that you haven't done that you would look forward, a bucket list thing that you would like to do in your long future?
That's a good question right there. I've been recently trying to find a hobby. So
racking that brain.
That's a really good question. I mean, I've wanted to pick up pottery. I wanted to pick up painting, and I wanted to share paintings with the world. I've wanted to. Well, I wanted to be like also a professional voice actor, which I'm currently trying to get that started.
You totally have the voice for it.
Yeah, he gets that from his dad.
He did get that from his dad. You've got that late night FM. I've had a half a bottle of whiskey and 2 packs of cigarettes voice.
Sit back with your bourbon and grab your favorite girl.
It's
time for slow jams.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, you're giving me confused feelings. Let's knock that off.
2 bottles of whiskey, and I'm done with this.
Not that with this shit. No, I sound like I've had half a balloon full of helium and drank some jalapeno juice.
You sound like you've had 2 bottles of Jaeger bomb and are about 10 seconds from collapsing onto the floor.
Oh my God, Jaeger bombs! I love Jaeger bombs.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Yeah, at 58, it's kind of difficult to be slugging that shit down anymore.
just okay, slamming it into your face. It's like it's like you're missing your mouth. The glass just breaks.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. One of the advantages that you definitely have over both me and the old man is that you are in the right time of life and you live in the right place to get that done. So I wish you all the best of luck to do whatever you want to do, man, because you deserve it.
Thank you. I wish your podcast great success, and I know it's going to get it one day because I've listened to some of the episodes. This is so funny.
Yeah. Well, we're shooting for that 12th listener, JT. So yeah, I really appreciate the kind words.
I advertised it to my classmates at school.
Well, we'll take listeners wherever we can get them.
Yeah, and if you know anybody that's in middle school, you might want to tell them too, because that's more what our content seems to be geared to lately.
Let's be clear. I don't think art kids give up about pest control.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's art kids. So.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's all fun until they got to move into a studio apartment loaded with roaches. They'll start giving more than a couple shits about pest control.
Exactly.
It's starving artists. They'll get what they get.
That's right.
Well,
dinner time.
JT, buddy, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show, and thank you for everything you've done, and we'll, hopefully be doing for us in the future. I tell you, like I said, your intro is the first thing that everybody hears when they fire up the podcast, and that to me is the coolest thing, and it is a great source of pride for me, buddy.
Amen. It's been a complete honor on my behalf to talk to you, young man.
It's been an honor meeting you, sir.
Right.
All right. Well, JT, look, buddy, you take care, and when we get the whole show uploaded, I'll let you know so you can hear your interview. All right, buddy?
All right.
All right. Thanks again, bud.
No problem.
That was awesome. I love that kid.
Oh, he's the greatest. I tell you what, if I had half the energy that he has in his average fart, I could rule the world.
His farts are pretty rough, man. I got to tell you. But I will say that to get him back, I remember one time I was Sheetz is a big convenience store, gas station thing, kind of like a Casey's or whatever. Well, and once in the Sheetz, I was running backwards trying to fart on him, and the other dads, I was getting approving looks from other fathers, like, yeah, get him.
That's right, get him. Yep. Hey, you missed him.
But when I'm up visiting him, where he lives up in Pennsylvania, I'll pop my head in his room, say hi to him, say something. Then I'll stick my ass in the room and fart, and then I'll hold the door closed. So
man. Oh no. Yeah, we used to have a word for that a term for that I don't know if I want to say. I don't want to piss a lot of people off, but it has a lot to do with history, 19th century or 20th century history. But well, we won't get into that. The topic for this evening, them's fighting words. You guys, if you've been in the business long enough, you've managed to either piss somebody off over a period of time or spontaneously for no fucking reason and through no fault of your own. So we've got a couple of good tales to tell you about that. And but first off, I'd like to go ahead and reach into the Tales from the Crawl Space refrigerator, go all the way back to the middle shelf. I see a Tupperware container that is a little bit questionable. We're going to open it up and have us a little bit of leftovers.
You better leave my fucking lunch alone. You better leave my fucking lunch alone.
I've already licked it, Jack. You have fun. I'm not going to tell you exactly where I licked it on there, so you get to figure that one out on your own. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be the most delicious part of that fucker you'll ever have.
I've woken up girlfriends like it. I licked you somewhere. I'm not going to tell you where while you were sleeping.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then they get up and a certain part of their body sticks to the sheet, and then they got it figured out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this tasty leftover tidbit comes from none other than the Mod Squad's own Beckett Usay. Beckett has got a pervy story for us all that he thought would be a pretty good one. So, and as most perverted, sick, nasty ass stories start with the people that do this thing of ours, it takes place in an apartment complex. One that he treats monthly. This poor dude's got 5 buildings at a time. All 15 get treated quarterly. It's a pain in his ass, he says, because each building has 8 units. So that's 40 randomly numbered keys that I'm being handed in a box each visit. And they also, as usual, never let the tenants know that he's coming. So Beck goes on.
That brings back so many fucking bad memories.
Oh, yeah. Beck goes on that the first heads up is usually that knock, knock. Pest control, a la Jim Carrey's Cable Guy voice, which, I can't do very well, so that's what I got. But anyway, this one dude, he's got this one dude, usually turns me away at the door, says he doesn't want or need service. You do you, buddy, that's fine. That's one less shithole for me to wade through. His unit comes up one day and he doesn't answer, so I let myself in. Complete with multiple knocks and hollers, because I'll be damned if I'm letting someone claim I busted in on him unannounced. No response, so I get started, only to get into a spare room and find her.
Ooh.
The old gal had seen better days. She looked like she'd been rode hard and put up wet. This chick had seen things that were not meant for decent folk. I'm given to understand that sex dolls of her caliber aren't remotely cheap, and I guess he was determined to get every bit of his money's worth out of her. On top of all the stretching and tearing around various orifices, I couldn't help but be most intrigued and disturbed that her hand had been misshapen like it was mauled by a wild animal with knuckles and fingers pointed in various directions. I never did go in that unit again.
My question is, if you're pumping ball bilge into something like that, does it qualify as a passenger in an HOV lane if you set it in the passenger seat? Because it looks like a person. It's not pre-grown people inside of it. Can you take an HOV lane with that?
I think that's just on optics alone. I think you would get by with that unless you were driving like a complete asshole.
And there's always never say no to Rowhead.
That's true. And the best part is you could when you get over to the when you get at the intersections or exit ramps or whatever, you're waiting on somebody else looks over, you just kind of grab one of her hands and pull her head down slowly into your lap.
Oh, yeah.
And then look over at the other dude and give him the best grin you got.
that knowing nod, like, uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So Beckett, thank you much for the plastic oh no story. And he's got another one. So we're gonna go ahead and throw that nasty ass Tupperware bowl in the dishwasher and get right to the main course today. All right, he's got the same apartment complex as the unfortunate doll, but a different building. Same routine. Knock, knock, knock. Housekeeping or pest control. Repeat 2 times, no answer. Key goes in the lock. I hear a dog barking, so I'm opening the door slowly in case I need to slam it shut again, when it suddenly slammed for me, knocking me back onto the landing. The door opens a few inches, and I see a jacked as fuck dude with just a towel around his waist with one arm held behind his back. Oh. He asked me who the hell I am and why the hell I was trying to get into his apartment, and I say, I'm the pest control guy, and I knocked and hollered before I tried to enter. Come to find out, though, he's a combat vet with pretty significant PTSD. Been in the shower, so he didn't hear any of me knocking or yelling, just his service dog barking his head off. He finally came out. I know. He finally came out of the bathroom to see what the dog's problem was, only to see his door creeping open, which is when he body slammed me to keep me out. Turned out the hand behind his back was holding his pistol, and he come very close to firing a few warning rounds through the door before deciding to tackle it closed. I fucking hate that apartment complex. Rightly so, Beck. Holy shit. Guns are out there. They're a problem. And I had one that I knocked on and knocked on and knocked on. Same business here. But I opened it up, and I usually stick my face in so I can shout pest control or maintenance or house or Girl Scout cookies or whatever the fuck. And I felt the tip of a handgun pressed up against the side of my nose.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was about ready to get some non-elective cosmetic surgery, and so needless to say, I didn't even bother. I ran the hell back to the office and said, "I'm done." It's because I had to go home and change my pants for one thing. So I mean, when you feel that metal right there on the side of your nose and hear that click, some part of your body is going to give way.
Yeah, it's generally your colon.
Your colon, yeah. You're lucky if it's just your bladder.
I had a gun pulled on me. I was doing some projects south of Baltimore near Fort Meade, and it's rent controlled type place. And the company I work for, Schmerlich, who is now owned by, how do I say this? Buy a MAME as opposed to renting it, if you get what I'm saying. Buy a MAME. And they had us in a darker grayish blue shirt with dark blue pants. I had the big 3D mag light hanging on my hip. And on my other hip, I had the Velcro Max Force bait gun holster. Mm-hmm. And I went banging on the door, and the guy's apparently looking through the peephole and sees someone in dark blue with a holster and a mag light. They answer the door, and I've got a pistol right at my forehead.
Shit!
I'm like, no. I'm just here for the bugs, dude. Here for the bugs. Don't fucking shoot. I do think I peed a little.
I would see that. I would definitely have peed a lot. So I admire your control.
No, I got a scar on my shin that's got 38 special on it. Yeah. So,
nice.
So yeah, and I had an ass full of rock salt when I was a kid. So
is that right?
So technically, I've been shot twice. It's not as scary after the first two.
I think I've been pretty blessed in the fact that while I've done a whole lot of things in my life to piss people off to the point of discharging a weapon into my body, the only time I've ever been shot was by my fucking brother Randy, who decided to hit the thigh with a BB gun. And,
Randy, come on.
Yeah, that's okay. I got him back by living well, and so he lives in a van down by the river. So success is always the best revenge, Jack.
Of course it is.
But I'll tell you what, some of the stuff that we come across in this thing of ours makes them dildos in the medicine cabinet look pretty tame.
No, that's for sure. Although, nothing says loving like a dildo in a wall void.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? And so that's another salute to old William.
And it was double-headed. Have you ever heard of the Arkansas tractor pull?
No.
That's where you take a double-headed and insert it in one rectum and in the other person's rectum, and they try to clench and pull it out of the other. That's called an Arkansas tractor pull.
Yeah, nice. Have you ever heard of a Kentucky double dong, Jack?
I can't say that I have.
No, it's a Kentucky double dong is it's an appliance that's got a shaft and a set of balls on each end.
That's almost like dog in a bathroom sex.
Yeah,
that's when you try to stuff your doodads in, and one keeps popping out, that one in, the other one keeps popping. It's like trying to get a dog in a bathtub.
Okay. Hey, Sean, you maybe remember the Seans from last week. Well, they are a veritable Golden Corral chocolate fountain of stories. And this week is, of course, no exception. So, we got another story for the Throw Hands episode here. He goes, I was sent to a home in the not-so-nice side of Dallas. The notes on the work order clearly stated, vacant home, treat inside, and out for preventive pest control. Door code is 1111. Anybody see the movie Spaceballs?
Yeah.
What the hell kind of combination is that? I arrived and started with the inside. As I entered, I started with the kitchen. I was under the sink inspecting for roach activity. As I was coming up, I heard running from the back bedroom. As I rounded the corner, I saw an obviously homeless man running at me with what seemed to be a hatchet.
Oh.
I flipped around and sprinted out the front door, got in my truck and sped off. I looked in my rearview mirror and he was out there standing by the street. Thought I was going to shit myself, man. Called my service manager at the time, and he ended up telling me to continue on with my day. I almost got chopped up and still had to do 8 more fucking accounts.
Well, you would have been able to tell exactly where I ran to and from, so I would have left a definitive trail behind me.
Oh, good grief!
For sure.
Yeah, before the podcast, I always sit down and have a little family time with the missus and the daughter, and grind down on a little bit of dinner. And we were talking about what we were going to talk about tonight. And I told my wife a story, and after I got done with it, she goes, "You never told me that before." And this story goes back a good 20 years. And I basically had to tell her, I said, my life outside the house is a wellspring of stories and experiences that you may never hear. Because, for one reason, I don't want to worry her too much. And, like the gun on the nose, she doesn't know about that. Unfortunately, she doesn't hear the podcast. So that's not the story I told her. The one that I did tell her, however, I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys, is a situation where I was out of cigarettes. I was in a really bad neighborhood, and I went into one of the I think they're called, I can't remember what they're called, like Double 8 or Lucky 8. It was a convenience type that's been long since gone, gobbled up, and become a food desert. In a predominantly African American neighborhood. Now, I'm going to replace the word that just basically is, begins with an N. I'm going to replace it with "you silly goose" in this story. So I'm getting my cigarettes, and I'm at the checkout, and this young dude comes up to me and asks me what the fuck I'm doing there. I said, "I'm jonesing for a smoke. Just come up, pick me up a pack of squares, and that's it." And he goes, "You ain't in the right neighborhood." I said, I work in this neighborhood. I'm just stopping to get some business. He goes, "You didn't hear me, motherfucker." Lifts up his shirt and says, "I said you're in the wrong neighborhood." And then the guy he was with looks over at the dude and says, "Where's your gun, you silly goose?" He looks down and he just turned all kinds of pale, and it turned around, ran up, and he was like zigzagging around the aisle looking for his gun. And I'm just sitting there, just kind of like, first off, shocked that I think the guy was going to assassinate me with his navel, and then so I bought my cigarettes and left, and I don't know if the dude ever found his gun.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's some people they're like fucking peacocks, they just want to spread their feathers out and make a scene of it. I was a branch manager for the first Donnie and Marie Pest Control I worked for. And little side note, I asked my office manager if she would be so kind as to make a voice note telling the story as well. So it's totally corroborated. But if it shows up before we go to edit, I'll put it in. If not, I'll make a little extra sound file that I'll upload for a little bonus for people.
Just a tease.
Just a tease. Just the tip.
Just the tip.
And so I was sitting in the office at my desk, and the phone rang, and my office manager answered, and she's like, one second, kind of abruptly, and said, "It's for you," with that kind of foreboding tone to her voice. And I picked up the phone, and it was during the start season. And I was like, "Your guy was here this morning. I'm still seeing insects. I want my money back." So I tried to explain to him how non-repellents work and how our service is conducted and what he should expect to see. And he told me that no, the salesperson said I'd never see anything again, which is part of my disdain for the sales bastards. Right. But and as I tried to politely explain to this gentleman time and time again, while he decided to talk over me and yell at me and call me every name in the book, he finally said, "You're not going to give me my money back?" I said, I can give you part of your money back because there is a cancellation fee. You signed the contract. You accepted the service. So you're now under contract with us. And so he told me he was going to come kick my ass. So I looked at the clock. I said, it's getting close to closing, but I'll tell you what. I'll stick around here for you if you want to come over here. I gave him, and I rattled off the address to the shop. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll leave the door unlocked. As soon as you walk in the door, look to the left. I'll be the big motherfucker in the corner.
Damn.
And he got real quiet on the phone.
Yeah.
And hung up. and I waited. I actually waited for about 30 minutes after closing just to see if he'd show up. He did.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
So I was spoiling for that one. That would have been fun.
Yeah, that's a rotten ass world out there, Jack. I had to tell you.
Yeah. Fucking people.
Yeah. So actually, the Mod Squad also came through with another one. And this one horrifies me more than anything else that I've ever seen. When I ask somebody about a scary situation or someplace, sometimes that, somebody has just totally become unhinged and just can't, the person on the receiving end of that, hardly has a fucking chance. And, our own First Lady of Pest Control Humor Depot, Paula Benedict, is her story is she goes, every 28 days with my husband. That was her story. So
that's warfare. That's
that is warfare. No, it's like there's a full moon out, and that poor guy's looking at high tide.
Aunt Flo shows up. And
that's right.
Fucked up.
Yeah. At the risk of going back to Jack Nicholson, it's the elevator scene in The Shining.
Well, I will say when I was working in the Baltimore area, the area that I was in most of the time was mainly prostitutes, and I had to shove one out of the truck because I was stopping at the 7-Eleven to get a pack of smokes, and she jumps in, she goes, "I'll blow you for a cigarette." And I had a lit cigarette in my mouth. I'm like, I don't fucking smoke it the fuck out of my truck. So I'm shoving her out of the truck because this chick looked like somebody beat her face with a garden weasel.
Yeah. So, wow.
I mean, that's got meth written all over it and little tiny scabs.
Yeah. Hookers are the salt of the earth, Jack. I think I told this story before. I was downtown, just finished up service on a tomato packing outfit. And I always walk out of there with a case of their number 2 grade Roma tomatoes. I take them home, make sauce and shit. And I got them sitting on the front seat. It was a warm day. My windows were down. Didn't feel like running the air conditioner. And stopped in an intersection. And one of the ladies of comfort came over and asked me if I wanted a date. I said, I don't have time for a date. And, she looks down and sees my tomatoes. She goes, "What you got in the box?" I said, "I got me some tomatoes." She goes, "Can I have one?" I looked at her. She looked, it was about the dinner hour. So I was like, "Yeah, sure, you can have one." And I opened up the box. I said, "Why don't you reach on in here and take your pick?" She goes, "Of the tomatoes, right?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "The tomatoes." She goes, "Well, I don't have any money." I said, "Just take one, honey. Just take one." I said, "Take 2." And she took it out and she's getting ready to go away. I said, wait, hun. And she turns back around and over my armrest, I had a couple packets of salt from McDonald's. I said, "You can't eat them damn things without salt. Here you go." She took it. She thought that was the coolest fucking thing. And she did. It's like as I was rolling away, I was just watching her just smashing the shit out of those tomatoes, man, just eating the hell out of them. So
hey,
it felt like a good deed of the day.
One good turn deserves another.
Absolutely. So
well, I tell you, working around one of the most crime-ridden cities in the country, hearing gunshots while I was out and about generally was a almost everyday thing in certain parts of Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just kind of duck behind the truck. But what I did find is in that area, generally, even the hardcore thugs wouldn't fool with the working man so much. I mean, especially if I'm going through the projects doing pest control. I mean, I'm kind of doing them a favor. Kind of like how, when our friend in Chicago was talking about all the projects that he was doing. That
Good old Kevin,
yeah. Kevin was saying that when you get to places like that, they're generally pretty good to you because you're trying to be good to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was, it was nothing hearing, someone get shot, gunshots. I mean, I'd go up on porches to knock on doors and there's blood all over the porch. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go in here today.
Right. I mean, unless you have a customer that's just got some sort of, other issue going on, like PTSD or, dementia or something like that. I mean, they're the ones that called you. You're going up to do your thing. Everything's usually cool, unless they got that, that idiot ass son-in-law who thinks he's some sort of hardcore gangster or whatever. And, I've had a couple of those, it's like, yeah, go ahead and go in his room and, he's asleep, but he won't mind. And I'm like, no, you're coming in with me, especially, if it's like a teenage kid or older or whatnot, cause it hasn't been anything for one of them to wake up, jump up and be like, who the fuck are you? I said, I'm you in 30 years, so just lay back down. That's happened a couple times. But usually, I mean, the people that you deal with, unless they got something fucked in the head, then I mean, they're usually good. It's the other fuckers that are around the periphery of all that. Those are the ones that always got me. I was over on the west side of Indianapolis many moons ago. I'm getting my gear out of the truck. I've got my my Whitmire System 3. For those of you who just got in the pest control business this century, a Whitmire System 3 is the belt holster aerosol cap thing. It had a little curly hose and the business end was just a little spray tip on the end. It was great. You could spray that fucker in any direction and everything. So, okay. And, but had that on my belt. And, grabbing my B&G and grabbing my dust and, a couple of, my bandolero, had my bait cartridges. I mean, I was loaded for bear, right? So I walk across the street to head to the house and a dude pulls up in an old Chrysler Cordoba with the rich Corinthian leather. And he rolls his window down and asks how much would it cost to get a can of stuff. And I said, I'm sorry, sir, I cannot sell you this on a retail level. And he kind of pulls a rag away from his passenger seat, and there is a 38 sitting there. And he goes, "Are you sure?" I could be pretty persuasive. I grabbed my Whitmire, the tip of my Whitmire, and set it up on the window. And I said, "You'll be blind before you can reach that fucker." and he started laughing. He goes, "I was just fucking with you, man. I got you. You got a card?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking, I got a card, you son of a bitch, but damn if you're getting one." I'm like, yeah.
Oh, shit, can't find it. God damn it. Get on the last one.
Yeah. It's amazing how big your balls grow when you get in this place, into this business.
Yeah, and I have to say that that Whitmire system thing worked fantastic unless you use Psychic, and that shit would leak all over the fucking place.
Oh, yeah, it was good for 565, PI. It was also good for Dursban, Bagon, and the dreaded Orthene.
But don't ever put fucking Psychic through it, because that shit leaks out of everywhere.
It does. I get that shit everywhere. And it's fucking Psychic. It's not like you're going to kill anything with it anyway.
It's microencapsulated.
But it is microencapsulated. But you know what? Yeah. You know what happens when those things butt? Nothing.
It's boogers. It's like boba tea. It's disgusting.
It's like tiny little dingleberries.
Oh, dingleberries. That should have been for last show. But I tell you, the same apartment complex that, speaking on last show, that I mentioned about the chick on the couch with the coffee table with the pile of coke and weed, as me and the guy I was working with, Crazy Tommy Termite, was leaving the building, it was a relatively thuggish neighborhood. And it was a nice day, when you get those summer evening storms that come through. Mm-hmm. And people were out polishing their cars and stuff. And, beautiful day for it. But the clouds were starting to gather over the apartment complex. And the parking lot's full of people. Mm-hmm. And he looks up and goes, "God damn, it's dark out here." And everybody stopped and stared at us. I'm like, we're going to fucking die.
Oh, shit.
So I'm like, get to the fucking truck. So we both kind of ran to the truck. And as we pulled out of the parking lot, I'm sitting there smacking him in the back of the head going, "Motherfucker!" He goes, "I wasn't thinking, man. I wasn't thinking."
Shit.
Yeah, thought we were gonna die.
Yeah, sounds like it. Okay, we've talked about customers some. I've got a couple of instances where I thought an employee or manager or whatever was going, that it was going to come to blows on them. James Schultz. I was talking to him today while we were sitting in the office, and the phones had stopped ringing for a little while. I was like, dude, I got a podcast tonight, and I said, I know you've been in here long enough. I know you got some stories. He goes, beyond Brad, I don't really have much of anything, but there was this one time that Mike Baldwin is another technician. I had to stop him from killing the manager. He's like, hey guys, he was headed right for his door to kick his ass, and there was nobody in between him and the door but me, and I had to body check. This is a good sized dude, so yeah, it was it's things like that. And I worked with this manager as well, and he was probably one of the most vile, ridiculous sons of bitches you ever met. And I'm not gonna name names, Cahill, but the whole thing, this guy drove more people away. And we always speak in low terms of him, but we were actually pretty grateful because he got us, his ineptitude, stupidity, and all the other stuff that made him got us out of there and onto greener pastures. So it all worked out pretty well.
Yeah, karma comes back around on people like that.
Oh, it does
for sure.
Mm-hmm. And so I'll tell you what, I got another one here from Sean, and so he goes, also had a customer who was very much follow you around and tell you how to do your job type. I did his initial. Good. I think we could do a whole show on them. He goes, I was getting irritated. I did his initial service, and I was getting irritated and said, sir, I've been doing this for 3 years. I'm not a veteran, but I know what I'm doing. Please take a seat, drink a beer, and let me handle the pest. His response is, if you don't shut the fuck up and just spray where I'm telling you, I'll beat your ass with that can hose you're pulling around. I thought about laying the guy out. I'll tell you, you know what? Yeah, that guy puffs up, I'm out of there, But, Sean has apparently made of stronger stuff. Because he goes, I thought about laying that guy out, but decided I really like working for the company I work for. So I went on to service the guy's house for 3 years. We ended up getting close, and after that first service, he never followed me around again. He tipped me $30 to $50 every time I came. He ended up switching from quarterly to monthly pest and signed up for mosquito, so I got $30 to $50 a month from him. He won't let anyone else touch his house, and when I left that service center and moved to another because I moved from the area, he canceled his service. The cancel is sitting on my old GM's desk, simply stating, if Sean can't service my house, no one can. Thought I was going to have to throw hands, but ended up having a good customer and a friend.
Well, that's actually great.
Yeah.
And I had a friend for the longest time that how we got to become friends is we fucking hated each other. Mm-hmm. And I punched him in the face, and we ended up being great friends. But works out like that sometimes.
Yeah, I'm blessed to say that I've never actually reddened my knuckles on a customer or a colleague or a manager, and I to this day I don't know how I fucking pulled that off.
Well, I haven't either, but I will tell you, I was in Pennsylvania working for the awesome company which I've mentioned by name, but and it was the first time I was at this one account. And it's a doctor, an arrogant bastard, and I was kind of warned about him. Mm-hmm. House is like a fucking maze. It's like multi-level, but not like a full floor up or down, but like 3 steps up to this, 2 steps up to 2 down to this. Weird fucking house. Mm-hmm. He's like, I need you to do here, 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 and here, and just follow me around, pointing at shit. And then he points at this stink bug, and he goes, I need to get rid of these. And I tried explaining to him about with stink bugs, a lot of it has exclusion because stink bugs don't groom themselves, and most non-repellents you put down isn't going to do anything, or they're more of a contact kill.
Right, sure.
And he's like, and he looks at me and cuts me off and goes, I don't want to fucking hear it. You need to do your fucking job. I don't want to see these anymore. And now, point of reference, I had just lost my brother about 2 weeks prior. Mm-hmm. And I was in no mood for anybody's fuckery. Uh-huh. And he jumps at me like that. I'm fucking standing there going, I could lose my job, but feel really fucking good about beating the fucking piss out of this guy.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because I was loaded for bear.
Yeah.
And just looking at me like I'm some stupid piece of shit. But I bit my tongue. I treated it inside, outside, ran all the windows and everything. I really made a show of it so he'd shut the fuck up. And I got back in the truck. And before I left the driveway, I called Rob at the office, the guy that does the scheduling. I explained to him what was happening. And he's like, fuck that asshole. We'll just cancel him. I mean, they were totally had my back on it. Like, man, nobody should be talking to you like that. We'll just cancel the son of a bitch.
Nice. Very good.
So I was like, I don't ever want to go back to this fucking house. Because they're like, oh, you won't have to because we'll cancel them. So
yeah. I mean, if somebody's going to be threatening you and whatnot, that's definitely your manager's got to have your back.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
If they don't, you're not working at the right place.
No, and I told this story on the first season eons ago, but I had my technician, Dave Taylor, when I was working for the Big Green Tea, and he had a lady in Annapolis who didn't much like the tone of his skin. Now, that lady's an asshole. What a goddamn thing wrong. Dave, one of the finest techs I've ever had the pleasure of working with, and on top of that, he was a stellar fucking human being. Totally stellar human being. Great. And so we gave this lady a prep sheet for her flea job a week prior. So she had full warning, knowing when we were coming and what we were doing. We get to her house, and as soon I walk in the door first and she's all smiles, he walks in behind me and that smile completely drops from her face. What's he doing in here? What are you talking about? He'll take care of the outside, but he doesn't come in my house. I'm like, what's wrong with Dave? Dave does a great job. But you shouldn't allow his kind, in my house.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, and I'm thinking, oh, no. And I looked at Dave and I was like, I got this. And so she started screaming at me, and she hadn't prepped anything. There was shit all over the floors, stuff on the couches. I mean, stuff everywhere. You could hear her bird chirping, which she didn't remove from the house as she was supposed to. And I explained to her, I said, ma'am, well, first of all, we gave you a prep sheet. You didn't prepare. We can't do a service. She goes, well, you just got to come in here and spray that lemonade. And started screaming and like a maniac. And you brought him in my house.
Oh, good.
I'm like, you can eat those fleas. You can have them. I hope they eat you. We're done. Yeah. And I turned Dave around and walked outside, and I said, Dave, I am sorry for that. He goes, man, that's not your fault. I said, no, but you shouldn't do it like that. I said, that lady was fucking lucky to have you as a tech. Yeah. And let that lady go fuck herself. I can't. And he patted me on the back. He goes, that was cool as shit. You just fucking canceled right to her face. I'm like, you goddamn right.
That's terrific, Jack. Great to hear that. I can't believe in this day and age that we're still talking about this shit.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And, it's ridiculous. I did it once, kept a customer over it. I'm never doing it again. I'm kicking myself in the ass to this day. It was many, many years ago, but to this day, I kick myself in the ass every time I think about it. And it's something that I find repulsive. And there's just absolutely no need for it.
No, I think the only basis we should judge people is how they treat you and the people that you care about.
Exactly.
That's it. It's what's the old saying? Some people say I'm a beautiful individual. Some say I'm an asshole. Believe them both, because I don't treat people poorly. I treat them accordingly.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what your husk looks like. It's the kernels inside that matter.
You goddamn right, man. There's some tasty fucking popcorn. I mean, you ever seen them bags of all the different kernel popcorn? That's some good shit, man.
Yeah, but it all pops the same. Because it all looks the same on the inside.
Yeah, and you see, you're a little biased because you're coming from Orville Redenbacher land. So
that's right, buddy.
There's that.
Yeah, native Hoosier, Orville Redenbacher.
That was a creepy looking motherfucker.
Yeah, but damn, man, did he develop some good shit?
Oh, no, for sure. Definitely love some popcorn. But no, you're right. It's the only way anybody should be judging anybody is by how they treat people. So.
Exactly. And, kill my bugs. I don't care, So,
you're damn right.
Yep. So
I'm wondering what we're going to do for a show next week because I am devoid of ideas because we've been plugging away at this shit every fucking week since October with the exception of February.
I think we've done a pretty damn good job.
You're fucking right we have, but
Yeah.
sometimes I like throwing it to the wolves and see what they come up with. I'm thinking maybe we should take a cue from the depot, from all the cheese bags, and see what they want to hear on the show.
Yeah. Well, first off, I think we're doing a good job. Jack thinks we're doing a good job, but none of that matters. We want to know what you think of us. Send us a review. If you think we suck donkey balls, tell us we suck donkey balls. We'll either take a look at that, take it into consideration, and modify our perspective, or we will just continue to suck donkey balls because maybe they're tasty.
Well, I tell you what, I have a limited amount of stickers and patches left here. So what I'll do is, if you put an honest review, I'm not asking for a shining one. If you don't fucking like the show, tell me you don't fucking like the show. Mm-hmm. But if you put an honest review on the website, you can go down to tftc.wtf and click the little hamburger menu, and you'll see where it goes to reviews, and you can leave a review for the show. Let us know what you think of the show. And then message me either on Facebook, Jack Starry on Facebook, or Instagram, TFTC Podcast, Twitter at Crawlspace Tales, or TikTok at TFTC 2.0. Tell me you left a review and send me your address, and I will send you a sticker and a patch. Tales from the Crawlspace sticker and a Tales from the Crawlspace patch for leaving a review. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'm not trying to bribe you for good shit. Just you do me a favor and let me know what you honestly think. I'll send you a sticker and a patch.
So are you telling me that if somebody gave us a completely shit review, they would still get a patch?
Hey, fair is fair. Like I said, it's even-handedness. If I'm being, biased because someone's, blowing smoke up my asshole, that's not fair. So
that's exactly what I want to hear.
I appreciate the honesty because how do you know if you're doing something fucking wrong unless somebody tells you?
That's exactly. If you don't put in your 2 cents, how can you expect any change?
Exactly. But no, definitely, yeah, a sticker and a patch for an honest review at tftc.wtf, and you know what the WTF stands for?
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Now,
okay, next week's show. Let's get back to that real quick. Let's throw it out to the depot, to PCHD. Jack, you are a ubiquitous man. So why don't you? I'll talk to the depot. You talk to some of the groups that you're in, and let's see if we can come up with a good topic that we can work on for next week's episode. And if we get more than one, we'll see what the majority of people want to hear, and we'll do that.
Yeah, well,
at least we'll try to do that.
I say we'll get some good ideas through the first half of next week, and then we'll put a poll up on the depot and let everybody vote on the poll, and whichever one gets the most votes, that's what we'll do.
Good idea. I think, let's go with that. Also, I did want to put something out here on the podcast regarding the PCHD magnets that we've been selling for quite a while. Our first run has sold out. So thank you very, very much. We put it out there originally just to see, for recognition of each other. We could catch each other out in the wild, just have a good time with it. And then then our good buddy Randy came down with his problems, and it became so much more. And the response that we got from the sale of these magnets is just incredible. And I just want to take a second to thank each and every one of you that gave yourselves and purchased a magnet, and wear it with pride. Put it on whatever you're going to put it on, and put it on there with pride, because God damn it, you're a cheese bag and you should be proud of that. Now, that said, even though we are sold out, we do have another run of the magnets in the works right now. The order's been put in at the printer. We're going to have another wad of them here, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and they will be available for sale again. And all the proceeds from the sales will go to the GoFundMe campaign for our good buddy Randy Strother. And just all you have to do is just Venmo me at BJH64 or Cash App at $cheesebag420, or you could just message me the money, and it's $5 per magnet. And be sure to include your mailing address so you're getting what you pay for.
Definitely. I got two of them. I got one on my car and I got one on my fridge.
And we appreciate that, my friend. And in addition to that, there's also the good stuff at the TFTC store, where we've got all kinds of lovely merchandise that's available, and that all goes to the same cause, which is a great cause. And maybe Jack could talk a little bit more about that, because I'm going to take a drink.
Hell yeah, we've got both Tales from the Crawl Space and Pest Control Humor Depot hoodies, T-shirts, hats, stuff like that. I got a hoodie. Wore that sumbitch today. I've worn it quite a bit. Matter of fact, the picture that I posted with me and my son talking about the interviews got me wearing my Tales from the Crawl Space hoodie.
Yeah, these hoodies aren't just cozy; they're sexy as fuck.
You fucking never. I'm a goddamn gem looking there and seeing that fucking picture. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. But and they're comfortable as shit. They're sized well because I'm a Sasquatch sized person. I'm 6'4", and my son is about 6'3", so he's going to be taller than I am when he gets older. But and it fits great. The sleeves are long enough, so they fit really well. The shirts as well. The hats are nice. They're snapback hats, like trucker hats. And all the proceeds go to Randy. Now, that's what I want to talk about next is Randy. Mm-hmm. I know there's been some updates with Randy. He's I think he's halfway through his chemo now. He is doing his best to drag out the suffering for cancer and kick the shit out of it and let it know who's the bitch.
Yeah, so that cancer is not having a good time hanging out in Randy's body. He's giving them both barrels, and
right.
Yeah, and I talked to him. I spoke with him a couple days ago, and he did a little stint in the hospital. He had a little bit of a lung infection, so they wanted to keep him there for a little bit. He sounded really good. His spirits were up, and he wants me to cook him a rack of ribs using my special recipe.
Hell
and
yeah.
I'm totally going to fucking make good on that one. We talked to Jack. I just want to make sure that everybody knows we talked about the merchandise and everything that we're pimping out here. Jack and I don't make a damn dime out of this.
No, not a penny.
We haven't taken a cent out of this. Everything that has covering the overhead costs and everything else goes to Mr. Strother's campaign. When he finally beats this once and for all, you guys played a big part of it, and I have never been prouder to be a part of this whole bullshit thing we got going on the last few years, and I can't thank you guys enough.
Well, I tell you, he don't forget, everybody, he's still got the GoFundMe campaign going. Mm-hmm. It says "Cancer Sucks, but Randy Doesn't." That's the correct title, right?
Yeah, it is.
Right. So if you go to GoFundMe, "Cancer Sucks, but Randy Doesn't," he has a GoFundMe program going. The guy is still, like I said, kicking the shit out of cancer, and he needs a little bit, of a push to help him get through the fucking bills and shit that don't stop no matter what's going on with you. So if getting some new swag's not your thing, check out the GoFundMe. Maybe slide him a couple bucks, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of cheddar.
There you go.
And so it's either the store, the magnets, the TFTC.WTF store, or Randy's GoFundMe. Like I said, we're not making a fucking penny. I don't want a fucking penny of it. I want to make sure that Randy gets everything he needs to do what he needs to do to get better. And
because one of the important things about being able to beat something like this is not having to worry about all the other periphery shit in life and focusing your thing on that one goal. And your role in this is helping Randy do that. So we all know he's going to beat it.
Most definitely, Randy. This show's for you, as every show that we've done since this started. The show is dedicated to you, Randy.
And yep. So okay, once again, we're going to kick it out to you for next week's episode. Tell us what you want to hear, and we'll hear it. Even if if you want to hear, if you want to hear, Jack take a shit, we can. I'm pretty sure we can make that happen.
Oh, we could definitely make that happen. And I'm gonna have to try to find a shitting in the toilet bowl sound effect to put at the end of the show tonight.
Shitting in the toilet. Shitting in the toilet.
Shitting in the toilet.
Nice. Okay, well, guys, thanks again for everybody. Thanks for listening again on behalf of Jack, myself, the Tales from the Podcast crew, from JT Starry, and everyone at Pest Control Humor Depot. Thanks again. We'll talk to you next week. Now, bug the hell off.
Bug off. See ya. Thanks for listening to Tales from the Crawlspace Podcast. You can find us on just about every single podcast outlet there is online. So be sure to subscribe, and we'll have a new episode next week. Don't forget, you can find us on Instagram at TFTC Podcast, on Twitter at Crawlspace Tales, and you can also find us on Facebook at the Pest Control Humor Depot. See you next week.